and the Black Widow. The Black Widow is actually going to be the fastest convertible ever. And
wow.
we've got the Sage is the dark blue vehicle. A lot of people love that car. It's going to be a very, very affordable for the performance that you get out of the vehicle. That's going to be one of the most, awesome vehicles that you can possibly buy. Really excited about that. Because we've got two different lines. Let me just back up real quick. We've got two different lines of vehicles that we're going to be coming out with. We've got four vehicles. The four vehicles is coming out in August are the E-Series, and that's the E1, E2, E7, and E750 minivan. And the E7, you probably see me driving that one. I actually love that. I love that car because
I want one.
You gonna get one? Hey, we take care of it. Hey, let me put it like this. You were very instrumental in a lot of the things that I've done because it's very difficult as an African American car manufacturer. Because most people, the first thing people say is, when I tell them, they say, hey, so what do you do? I'm a car manufacturer. They say, oh, you got a dealership? It's like, no, I'm a car manufacturer. Oh, so you work for a car company. What car company you work for? No, I am a car manufacturer. I own Mims Motors. I'm the first black car manufacturer in history in 100 years. And people go, there was one before you? So, yeah, it's like, wow. Yeah, so you end up having to go through this whole long, drawn-out explanation. And, the people that have been around me, they kind of gotten used to it, so you see their eyes kind of roll over, like, okay, did they not understand that he's a black car manufacturer and there hasn't been one? But it's a good thing because it gives an opportunity to help people understand what we're about, that we're more than just rapping and singing and dancing and playing basketball or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And also the young generation, it makes them look forward into a more wide open, the sky's the limit,
Yeah.
And, the sky's the limit. And how does it feel to you yourself, breaking history? I mean, over 100 years since the first black man, way back decades ago, that came out the first car. I think that was for the Ford?
No, C.R. Patterson. Yeah, C.R. Patterson and Sons.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Excuse me, C.R. Patterson.
No, it's okay. It's 100 years. You're forgiven.
Now, how does it feel? You breaking history like this? I mean, I know some people, you know how it is when it's something new and fresh out here like this. We're living in the 21st century here. You might as well say the 25th century. And a lot of things are changing and moving and so I guess it's hard for some people to come to accept. Have you accepted it and moving on and growing?
Well, for me, I guess the best way to put it is, it's an historic thing. I don't think about it from that standpoint, simply because of the fact that it's something I wanted to do since I was 9 years old. I remember telling you about the situation when my brother got his first car. We were at Burt Greenwell Chevrolet back there in Akron, Ohio, and I learned how to drive a stick shift from watching my dad drive. And I was driving a 240SX around in the parking lot, and people were wondering who was out there driving, and my dad was like, "Where's Eric?" So he came out and looking for me and everything, and I'm driving around in the snow, and I parked the car, and my dad kind of looked at me. He says, Mr. Greenwald walked around. He says, well, he didn't hit anything. It's fine. He says, my dad says, where'd you learn how to drive a car? I said, I learned from watching you, and
wow.
I just got in and I figured it out, and we got back in and everybody was laughing and stuff. And Mr. Greenwald says, so Eric, he says, you're going to drive, you're going to get a Chevy like your brother? Because my brother got a Camaro. And
wow.
I said, no, I want my own car. And everybody kind of said, yeah, you're going to have, it's when you buy it, it's going to be yours. I said, no, I want my own car. And they kind of like didn't understand what I was saying. And they kind of like looked at me like, I know you ain't stupid. And I said, no, I want my own car company. And they all just stood there and laughed, and they bust out laughing. Oh. And my sister Chris said, no, Eric, he's stubborn. He said, y'all going to look up one day and he's going to have Mims Motors, and y'all going to eat your words. And it happened. It took a long time for that to happen, but, I'm 48 now. I'll be 49 in September. And, it took 40 years to get here, but, we made it. We started below the bottom, to get here. But, so when I look at it, it's not a situation where I'm like, thinking about the history part of things. It's just something that, I saw my dad do stuff. My dad was a master carpenter. I saw him build things out of nothing. He could walk out into a field with a pad and pencil and make, in his head, he could figure out how many studs, how many nails, how many pieces of drywall, whatever it was that he needed, and he could order it one time and have it there, and he could build the house from the ground up.
Wow.
So I saw my dad do that. So for me, fathers are extremely important because they teach their sons things that mom can't teach them.
Right,
we have different roles, and it's not to this downplay or say anything bad about single mothers, because there are single mothers out there that are very strong and have played both roles. But for me personally, my father is my hero. My dad's 89 years old, and he's my hero. I saw him do things, and because I saw him never give up, it taught me how not to give up. I saw him build things from nothing, so I knew it could happen, and whereas, being from Ohio, and dealing with friends and things like that, and people tell you, oh, this can't happen, or the man's going to stop you or whatever, I never saw anybody come to me and say, you can't do this because you're black. The people that were standing around me telling me I couldn't do stuff looked like me, so I was kind of like, nobody's going to stop me from doing something. And if they get to that point, then we'll have to deal with it when we get there. And 40 years later, here I am. So, I look at it from a historical standpoint, but I think if I look at it from, if I really, really start looking at that, it might put fear in my heart, I guess is the best way to put it. Because I mean, I've tasted that before. It is a heavy burden. It is hard. You know what I mean? I kind of know what LeBron James is going through. A lot of people, look at LeBron and they don't understand that he's carried an entire city on his back. He's taking care of the entire state. You know what I mean? So he had a lot of stuff to deal with. So, love him or hate him, he's a strong role model in that he's gone back to Ohio, just like we will. He's done stuff in the community like we will. I'm never going to forget where I came from. I got to go back and help as much as I can. But more importantly, this is a worldwide company. We're going into Norway. We're going to Africa. I don't know if you remember. I've been to Africa. I was made a chief in Akwa Ibom, and so that was a very humbling experience. And to be made a chief and have 21 chieftains bless me and our opportunity going forward, and have the king rename me. It's like, that's crazy. And wow. I think about that. I mean, the king named me Iggity by One, the rock that cannot be moved from Jehovah's purpose. And so that gives me strength. When I think about it, it's like, here I am, a kid from Akron, Ohio, a black kid at that, that's been made a chief in a foreign country, the country that we came from. The king said, when he spoke, he said, the child that was lost has come home to bring blessings to the people.
Wow.
And that still chokes me up to this day.
Wow, that's a lot to swallow. So can you name say that name again?
Which one? The king of Akwa Ibom, Albino land, is where it's at. And The king named me Iggity by one, the rock that cannot be moved from Jehovah's purpose.
Okay. You hear that, everyone? So call on the show. Call the guest line number to speak to my guest, CEO of MIMS Motors. I want to elaborate on you have speedboats as well.
Yes.
On the same technology, or is it a little bit different?
It's the same technology. Yeah, we have.
Okay.
We work with the company. We decided to build another company called 4M Watercraft Technologies, and 4M Watercraft Technologies, and for the most part, everything that we've moved forward to do is for the betterment of mankind. And what we're trying to do is to put as many people back to work as possible. 4M Watercraft Technologies is based out of California, and we work with a company called Harbor Guard Boats. Raul Mankal is from India. He's a very dear friend of mine, and he helped us get to manufacturing and trying to build these boats. He's after me all the time to try and get this stuff done. And, we realized that, one of the biggest issues in having a pleasure boat, be it a speed boat or fishing boat or whatever it is that you got to put gas in it. You're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And,
when
you're trying to do something like that, this technology actually works better in that arena than it does on land. But with our partners over at Universal Technology, Universal Network, Portal, and a number of other companies that we work with, we make the system so that it's not only affordable, but when you have that system, you're always connected. And so that's very helpful when you're dealing with something, be it, in the middle of the ocean or middle of the desert, you still are connected. So this is tremendous opportunities that we have going forward, and it also helps us to, provide something to the people that's more than just, okay, here's another car. Can we put 24-inch rims on it? And it's funny when people ask me that question. Can we modify the cars? What can we do? It's a regular car. Just the drivetrain system is new. The motor system and the power system is completely different. But we want to make the vehicles, be it power boats, cars, trains, planes, automobiles, trucks, whatever it is, buses. We want to make it so that people they're familiar with the controls, they're familiar with the way it works. There isn't anything extra that you're going to do. As a matter of fact, it's less that you have to do with our cars than anything else. The maintenance is less.
Go ahead. I was getting ready to ask you about the maintenance.
Yeah. The maintenance is less. It basically, like I said, we've got the dealerships that are lining up with us, and they've been very, very helpful at making sure that the product works properly, that the product is going to be, everything that we said is going to be and more. So basically you just take your, just like getting an oil change. The vehicle doesn't have to go into a charging station for up to 2 years, but you go back and, have a maintenance check done on the battery system and whatnot, and you can pay for the charge inside the car through the Universe Network, or you can go back to the charging to the dealership and have the vehicle recharged. And as we move forward and build more charging stations, that's going to provide jobs for individuals in high school or out of high school, college, or whatever, and good paying jobs. So what we're trying to do is, a lady asked me, it's funny. A lady asked me one time, she says, how come you guys don't use robots to put cars together?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Go ahead, my brother. Go.
Yeah, I just looked her straight in the eye and said, because machines don't buy cars. They don't buy cars. I would rather pay somebody a good living wage to be able to come to work for MIMS Motors and build a car and have pride in what they're doing. and not only knowing that they're making